A sandstorm arrived in Raid Shadow Legends when Al-Naemeh, the lethal resident of the Sand Devil's Necropolis, has awoken and is eager to wreak havoc in Teleria. These are the dungeons that have different tasks associated with them that need to be fulfilled within the game in order to achieve something. Yet, there's a lot more to know about them. That's right, but what exactly is that? Well, that's absolutely what we're going to find out. Now, as we said, there are several different dungeons in the game that you need to beat in order to achieve a greater deal. For example, these dungeons can be defeated to get different types of oils that can later be used for the artifact Ascent. One of these dungeons is the Sand Devil. But is it the only thing that we need to know about this character in the game? Well, of course not, but there's so much to know about him, so let's dig into that. Raid Shadow Legends Sand Raid Devil's Necropolis is a new endgame dungeon that is available for players to farm oil in order to ascend their artifacts and accessories. Along with the dungeon comes a brand new boss that possesses deadly rodents that will pierce your skin and rot your flesh. Sounds frightening and eerie, right? Well, the boss's design, on the other hand, communicates more loudly than words. The boss's new mechanics, known as Al-Naemeh, is one of the most astounding things that players are perplexed about. Oil, a new resource that can only be obtained by completing the Sand Devil's Necropolis dungeon, is also included in the game. Al-Naemeh, the monster, employs the slumber mechanic, in which you crowd control him with the sleep debuff to prevent him from blocking your debuffs while in this state. However, unlike the Fire Knight dungeon boss, this boss will be awakened after a set number of hits from your champions. And if you ask about the oil or what is it used for, it's called the Ascension of the artifact, a novel method for increasing the potency of your artifacts. The Sand Devil's Necropolis dungeon is the most recent material to be made available to players, with the Hydra Clan boss being the one to be available for quite some time now. Of course, this new dungeon has its own set of mechanics and resources that set it apart from the others. The Sand Devil's Necropolis, like the Minotaur's Labyrinth and Affinity Keeps, is a resource dungeon rather than an artifact/gear grinding dungeon. Oil is the resource that it provides to all players. The oil is available in a variety of rarities and volumes. Now, if one asked about the kinds of oils that are obtained once this dungeon is out of the way, then there are 3 distinct oils that you'll get after getting over it. The first one is known as the Lesser Oil that is used for Ascension levels 1 and 2. Then we have the Greater Oil, which is utilized for Ascensions levels 3 and 4. Lastly comes the Superior Oil, which is used for Ascension levels 5 and 6. As is customary in these resource dungeons, the higher the stage at which you are fighting, the greater your chances of acquiring superior oil. The first floors will only provide lesser and greater oil. The Sand Devil's Necropolis has 25 separate floors, each with its own boss, the Al-Naemeh. Of course, the difficulty level rises as you ascend the dungeon's higher floors. But there's something to keep in mind. And that is the level of difficulty you'll have to see while defeating this dungeon in order to get those oils, as the Sand Devil is the game's toughest boss. When the developers were designing it, they apparently planned to actualize the sleep debuff and the revive on death buff. However, as is customary, gamers rapidly devised much simpler techniques to destroy it. As a result, the top stages of the dungeon can be completed with a swarm of ninja, or drang, and a neri. Many champions can complete low stages on their own. Syl or Mashaled, for example, can level food on the 10 to 14 stages of the Sand Devil's Necropolis. Victory over the Sand Devil will grant access to one of the 3 types of oil, each of which is required for Artifact Ascension. There is also a slim chance of obtaining the Ancient Shard. There's a lot going on with Al-Naemeh that will put your 5-member team to the test. To begin, you must bring some type of sleep to this battle. If the monster does not receive sleep debuffs on a regular basis, he will be able to use his massive AoE nuke more frequently, which will likely kill your team if you do not have some type of resurrect on death. You are also unable to debuff the boss without sleep, which makes doing damage impossible owing to its passive damage immunity. As a result, his A2 will deal far more damage. Sleep is thus something you should bring. If we talk about its skills, Al-Naemeh, the boss of Sand Necropolis dungeon, is immune to receiving all debuffs except sleep. It's also resistant to HP exchange, HP balancing, cooldown increasing, turn meter lowering, and debuff duration raising effects. Al-Naemeh is only resistant to stun, freeze, provoke, block active skills, block passive skills, fear, true fear, and petrification debuffs while under a sleep debuff, as well as HP exchange, HP balance, and cooldown lengthening effects. It also reduces incoming enemy skill damage by 25% on stages 1 to 5, 50% on stages 6 to 15, and 75% on stages 16 to 25. This intrinsic damage reduction is reduced by 10% for each debuff currently applied to Al-Naemeh. This is called Rest of the Wicked. Another of its skills is known as Soul Sustenance. When Al-Naemeh attacks, the max HP of all targets is reduced by 10%. Whenever an enemy reduces its turn meter, it destroys that adversary's max HP by the same percentage. When it is under the sleep debuff and an enemy champion is healed, a portion of that champion's max HP is restored. The amount restored is equal to the heal's value. With its Doom Tempest skill, the dungeon removes all debuffs from Al-Naemeh, then heals him. The amount healed is proportional to the total amount of destroyed max HP on the enemy team. It also attacks all foes after healing. The damage inflicted by this talent reduces with each debuff cleared. Feasting Swarm is yet another skill of this character. With the help of this particular skill, it attacks all opponents and ignores shield, block damage, and unkillable buffs, as well as 100% of target's defense. After attacking, Al-Naemeh receives the sleep debuff for 2 turns. Pretty interesting, right? Now you might ask about Artifact Ascension, so let's talk a little about that. Artifact Ascension is a brand new feature that will let players elevate their account's power to the next level by raising the total stats of their artifacts. The artifacts that are suitable for Ascension must be at least 4 stars ranked in terms of grade and level 12 in terms of improved value. The artifact's frequency is crucial. Players can even advance to common grade artifacts if they complete the prerequisites. Players may notice a variety of modifications when they ascend their artifacts. For example, the stat of your ascended artifact will be highlighted in different colors depending on how many ascensions you have completed. According to the number of ascensions performed, the stars on your relic will shift from gold to purple. Ascending artifacts just use oil to climb and no silver, and the first level of an artifact ascension offers it a bonus stat. The value of this stat increases as you level up on the same artifact. Each type of artifact has a predetermined pool of bonus stats that can be applied to the item following Ascension. These will be revealed in a more efficient manner following the release of the official patch notes. Once the item has been climbed, players cannot re-roll or revert it. Players cannot re-roll the additional stats, one of their options, at the time this feature is introduced. Let us know in the comments what your thoughts are on this. If you enjoyed watching this video, then hit the like button and subscribe to this channel. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time!